Abang. Mohammed. 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 Stable.
How many days? Not just today.
No. The IT, talk to the IT, not to everything is said.
Huh? Why did you think that?
The live inform. The live inform. Boss. Then right, everything will be
something like that. So you come with
Hello. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm holding the microphone, so let them check the sound. Mohammed, Suzu. Well, so they walked out singing the NPP anthem, and of course it generated some jeers as well from the NDC caucus, after which the NDC took over and also sang its own anthem. And of course, as we speak now, the House is a one-sided one. The NDC MPs, together with the NPP MPs, occupy the right side of the speaker until the leader of the NPP caucus, Alexander Kwame walked in the company of the Greek minister and then his other charges. He realized that indeed what he expected was what had happened, and that the two sides were all occupying the right-hand side of the speaker, signifying their readiness to take their majority status. So after the address, which of course didn't come as a surprise, because in our engagement with Alexander Kwame yesterday, he had indicated that if what has just happened should happen, he will lead his charges to walk out of the chamber until there is a clarity as to where each side should sit, be it minority or majority, in accordance with the directives from the Speaker. So he has led his charges to walk out of the chamber. He says he will monitor proceedings from the office. If Speaker comes and there's a clarity as to what the sitting arrangement will be, then the MPP will file back into the chamber. As it stands now, the chamber has been left to the NDC caucus. Now, something instructive has equally happened, and I'm sure you've given this to viewers already and listeners as well. In my engagement with Dr. Dominic Ayeni, former Deputy Attorney General and Member of Parliament for Bolgatanga East, he gave the clearest of indications that the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, does not intend implementing the ruling of the Supreme Court. And he indicates that the Speaker consequently has instructed his lawyers to file processes at the law court to vacate that ruling from the Supreme Court. So if there was any indication we're waiting for, that will be clearly indicative of the fact that the Speaker does not intend implementing or enforcing the ruling of the Supreme Court. Then what Dr. Dominic Ayeni told us is the evidence we needed. But what is not clear, however, is where exactly these processes are being filed. So for instance, the argument from the lawyers is that the Supreme Court doesn't have a jurisdiction to do what it did. The Supreme Court overreached its constitutional mandate by doing what it did. If there is any argument about vacancy of a seat or otherwise, it should go to the High Court. Nonetheless, the Supreme Court, the 5-member panel, sat on this particular matter and gave consequential directives. Now, it is these directives that the Speaker's lawyers are seeking to vacate or set aside. So, will the lawyers head to the same Supreme Court or where exactly? I've engaged some lawyers who tell me that what the Supreme Court did is not known to law. So we should equally expect what the Speaker's lawyers are doing to equally be strange to law. That we've never been where we are legally, where a Supreme Court is issuing orders to Parliament. So once that has happened, then it shouldn't be out of place that the Speaker's lawyers equally will do something strange. But back to the chamber, I can tell you that Speaker himself is not here yet. Although, per the time we're looking at, it's about 22 minutes past 10. And when an adjournment is taken, the Speaker's announcement is that the sitting will resume 10 o'clock in the forenoon, which is 10 a.m. So it's more than 20 minutes after that scheduled time for sitting to begin. Speaker is yet to come. However, I've seen the minority, the NDC caucus leadership. You will have to pardon these blips because they are often going to happen because this is an uncharted territory. As to whether which side is minority and which side is majority, is the reason why we are all awaiting the Speaker's arrival for a definite pronouncement on this. Nonetheless, I've engaged Honorable Sam George, Member of Parliament for the Pram Pram, who indicates that, in fact, it looks like Parliament itself had taken a decision to reconstitute the sitting arrangement. To him, when he came, he got an indication that he and his charges, and I'm talking about the NDC caucus, were to occupy the right side of the Speaker. And that is per the directive given by the Speaker last Thursday before the House went on an adjournment. And so, if there are any individuals who are encroaching, it is the NPP caucus and the members therein. Yes, of course. So back to the chamber, like I said, it's now a one-sided chamber. One thing I can tell you as well, and the viewers, is that I'm sure many are wondering, 135 members of Parliament, if NDC, or 36 members of Parliament, if all of them show up, will that be able to constitute a quorum for sitting to begin? Yes, that's more than enough. That's more than enough for a quorum to be reached for sitting to begin. However, would that be enough of a quorum for a decision to be taken? We've been here before, relative to e-levy, the back and forth, and then the approval of the ministers or otherwise. Speaker's ruling then was that once the register of the attendance indicates today that majority members showed up or the MPP caucus members showed up, they will be counted in making a determination as to whether there will be a quorum for decision taking. But I doubt as to whether there will be a decision that will be taken today. But for a quorum for sitting to start or for the House to commence business, the NDC on its own constitutes much more than even what is needed for business to be transacted on the floor of Parliament. So with that address, back to how we got here. So on Thursday, and that was 2 days prior to Thursday, we all knew that MPs returned from break. Before then, the former minority leader and member of Parliament for Tamale South, Harun Edrisu, had announced on a campaign platform that the episode that has just unfolded or has been unfolding since last week is what he and his side will be triggering under Article 97 1H of the Constitution for 4 members of Parliament who have switched allegiance to have their seats declared vacant. Even before Harun Edrisu could make this public, if viewers will remember and listeners as well, we had engaged Member of Parliament for True East and the former Power Minister, Dr. Kwamina Donkor, who gave an indication as to what exactly the NDC intended doing in changing the status from minority to majority. True to his word, Harun Edrisu on Tuesday filed a motion on notice at the office of the Speaker and notified the leadership of the 2 caucuses that he intended moving a motion, and that motion was to get Parliament to trigger Article 97 and declare the Aguna Central seat, Aguna West seat vacant, Amenfi Central seat vacant, Suhum seat vacant, Fomena seat vacant, and then of course to add to this, the Fomena MP, who is an independent member of Parliament, is the second deputy speaker. So that will have consequently meant that the second deputy speaker position will equally become vacant. And immediately this notification was sent to the office of the Speaker. The media in Parliament were addressed by Alexander Kwame Afenumakin, the leader of the majority then, because as at this setting that I'm relating to, the happenings in the chamber had not taken place, so he was the majority leader, and indicated that he was going to head to the Supreme Court. In fact, he had instructed his lawyers to head to the Supreme Court and file processes to trigger the constitutional interpretation responsibilities of the apex court of the land to, first of all, stop Parliament, stop Speaker in his track in going ahead to act upon the motion that subsequently was going to be moved by Harun Edrisu.